Okay, this is a short video to look at the breathing motion of the face, the cranium and spine, and it will aid some tutorials and webinars I'm going to run. So it's the breathing motion through the face, breathing motion through the cranium, the breathing motion through the spine. Now here we have a skull, and we're working with the breathing motion with holographic breathing, and that becomes more pronounced, especially when we work with the arms and legs. The musculature through the whole body really engages the whole breathing motion. And how this accesses into the cranium is that all of the muscles through the whole spine, working up into the back of the head, into the sides of the neck, into the underside of the head, into under the jaw. The diaphragm, as it drops, pulls down the whole central column, the heart, the esophagus, the trachea. This pulls down here. The jaw naturally tends to open a bit, holographic breathing, the lips are closed, the tongue's on the roof mouth, so this transfers through the whole face. You get this very subtle opening and closing, widening through the whole face. The whole cranium, it's all pulling downwards. Everything is pulling downwards. The muscles of the breath are shortening to create the opening through the whole body. So there's a shortening and widening on the in-breath, the lengthening and narrowing on the out-breath. So what this does on level of the spine and cranium, try and put this together, is all the muscles here pulling up. The muscles are pulling from the chest into the spine, so they're pulling down on the spine, they're pulling up into the sides of the head, they're pulling up into here, the esophagus, the trachea, pulling up to the hyoid here, to the front underside of the cranium, into the tongue, through the tongue, if the tongue is suctioned to the roof mouth, as it is in holographic breathing, to the roof mouth. So there's a general pulling down through the whole body, through the face, through the cranium, and it's pulling down onto the occipital condyles, these two bones here. That's where it's pivoting on the spine. So what you get is it's all pulling down. Put that on something that will stay still. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So the distance between the vertebrae will be very slightly shortening, but also the spine will be straightening. It pulls the spine straight, so it lengthens. At the same time, it condenses the spine because all of the muscles are pulling down and onto the cranium. So you get breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then this puts force vectors through the whole face and cranium, but very subtly. Opens up all the bones on the in-breath, closes the bones on the out-breath. Now that doesn't mean they're open, relaxed, available on the in-breath, tight on the out-breath. It just means they're open into one position on the in-breath. They move back to the sitting position on the out-breath. So it's not like tight, closed, open, relaxed. In a lot of ways, totally the other way around, because all of the tension is in the muscles on the in-breath and all the muscles relaxing on the out-breath. So if anything, it's tense and pulled into a opening position on the in-breath, relaxed and relaxed back to whatever the sitting position is in the out-breath. Now, we're majorly working with the interface between the cranium and face in this webinar series of 6. So we're going to look at that, the interface between the cranium and the face. So I'm going to take its face off. This is not something to do in person with a client. You can do it on people who aren't clients, but don't do this on clients. Now you just gently take the face off like that. That's it. Uncouples from the cranium. Don't do this at home. There we have the underside, and we're going to look at the movement of all of this in the webinar, and we're going to look at 4 different energies. There's the deep earth energies here, there's the fire energies here, there's the lung energies at the side, there's also the kidney, adrenal energies at the side as well. This is the yellow energies, another circuit, 6 circuits and all. We're going to work with 4, but we're majorly going to be working with the deep grounding energy of the back here. Now, I'm going to have to explain something here, and I'm going to take this apart a little bit forward so I can show you the whole underlying structure and movement of this area. Now this is where I'm at odds with pretty well the whole rest of the world, but that is not uncommon for me. So this is the sphenoid, which would normally be from that black line there. That would be the sphenoid. This would be the occiput. It's a fib. They're not 2 different bones. They are one bone, and I've called that the balance bone. Now, at birth, this is cartilage, this is cartilage, and this is cartilage. This is the deepest, biggest, this is a bit less, and then this is the smallest one, but this lasts the longest. Now, it's not a separate bone, it's merged, the bones are merging together through the cartilage, so they are joined to the cartilage. Here the cartilage is really fine and it lasts longest, but it's the finest. But it's the connection to the face. The face is coming off here, so I think this just needs to stay a little bit more mobile for longer. But after, you know, through that whole time, it's getting more, it's solid, but it's a little tight because the bone is bone and cartilage together, growing together. But if you're going to take into account the movement of these, you've got to take into account the movement of all 4. I'm saying that because the whole world has been taught that this is 2 bones and moves as 2 bones. And I'm saying that's a load of rubbish. And I may be wrong. And absolutely you can work with this area and get all of the stuff, but I'm going to show you another way. So if you've got one particular hat on, try this hat as well, because I work with it in both ways. I can work with that area, but I get a deeper with the breath. I'm working with the breath. Other people may just be working with the cranial rhythm, which is a different thing. And with the breath, the focal point is here. The whole face, the whole cranium being pulled down onto the spine, and that is where it's being pulled onto. So this is the focal point. These are the weakest points. So you've got foramini there and there. Also, it's really fine. Can you see how fine the bone is there? So there's this natural weakness across here. So there's more flexing there as the breath. So in the movement of the cranium, breathing in, breathing out. Can you see how the fundamental connection to the cranium and to the breath, the place that it's actually connecting and focalizing, is here, this bit here. Now, where it's happening, it's not just big tension there, because you'll notice every vertebrae gives way, and the muscles aren't just pulling in there. Some muscles are pulling into here, some into here, some into here, from the chest rising there, muscles are joining here. And they're all tightening to pull up, but they're also connecting to cranium, and these are also aligning and connecting to cranium. You've also got large muscles from here coming down from the cranium straight into the front. So, but within the cranium, you get this pulling down, overall pulling down of the cranium. And it's not pulling down, you know, if the spine wasn't there, yeah, it would move up and down. If the spine was there, you're not there, you'd really be in trouble. But it would just equally go up and down. The spine is there as a central pivot, so it all pulls down. So the focal point with the breath is here. So there's a force, and because it is this bone that is pulling on the spine. So, and there's a big force front to back. So the bow is a general thing through here. So that pulls down, but bones are flexible, and we're only, it's a minuscule move. It's tiny, tiny movement, but it feels big, and you can start unwinding and healing a lot. So you get this central breathing and this bowing in or opening out on the in-breath. Because when people call it two bones, in their mind, it becomes two bones. So I won't call it the occiput and sphenoid. I'm calling it the balance bone because it sits on the spine and it balances with the breath front to back. So it's called the balance point. This, the major, because you've got the whole, you see this like a crane, there's a small back bit at the front, but then you've got the whole face here. Why is that not fitting together? So you've got the whole face there. So you've got this fairly short bit at the back pulling down onto where my thumb is, and then you've got this whole long face sticking out there. So it's like a crane here, and this is all pulling down on the spine as you breathe in, all lifting up. So it's got more of a leverage at the front, and you've got all of these big muscles coming up, so there's more power here. The strength of the breath is through, you know, when we work with the arms and legs, the actual real power, deeper strength comes up the back of the body and into the back of the head. And this is where the major muscles from the spine, from the trapezium, they're all coming up, and this is giving the earth and the real strength, and then everything else balances around that. So this, well, I called it different things and I've forgotten them all now, but this is the base here. This is the base energy. This is like the earth, the deep earth. This is the balance point. So you've got the deep earth, the balance. Then this is the fire phoenix, and it has that energy of the heart, also the genitalia, different organs. They all relate to different organs. So you've got this area here between where the, you know, this is where the cartilage was, or where the bones are growing together and forming through cartilage. You've got the esophagus is coming out. I forgot the name of what it is. I'm dyslexic, so I can't remember names, but the word change it from the esophagus and becomes whatever there. That comes, so it's an esophagus all pulling down with the diaphragm. That is also pulling down forwards. This here, these with the movement of the jaw, these are pulling down, and these with the movement here, it's all pulling down this way. This is all pulling down that way. So you've got the deep earth, the balance, the sphenix, you've got the tail of the sphenix, or the earth for the sphenix here, the heart, lungs, you've got big sinuses there, the sphenix, the wings of the sphenix, the legs of the sphenix or fire dragon. So these are the two main that we'll be working with, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So there's the energies of it, there's the fire of it. And we will be working, if I get them to go in, Go on, go in. Silly bone. There we go. It's not gone in properly. And so we got the bones at the side as well now. See, you've got the balance bone in the middle, that one big bone. Right? See how it makes a difference when you just think of that as one bone. It is one bone. It's majorly one bone from when we were born. It's the cartilage isn't just cartilage. It's bone with a bit of cartilage that is also turning into bone. So it's infused with bone, and it just gets more and more bone until it just becomes solid bone. So now we've got these sideways ones, and put that on, and from the sides you get breathing in. Wow, they're going to open. As it drops down, they swing out to the sides. They're pulling out. The muscles are pulling them out on the in-breath and in. So you get the breathing motion, all of that. These relate to the lungs and the lung circuit, lungs, colon, spinal base, central brain complex. All of these have very different energies, relate to different organs, fit together in different ways, like this skull that never fits together. I'm going to get a new skull. There we go, it's fitted together. I told it off and it fitted together. So there, it makes a nice little sit. Doesn't our anatomy make nice pictures? See, you've got like a seat there. Sit back into that. I just short tell you the basis of what we're working with tonight. It's going to be a 6-week series. We're going to work with all of the bones through the whole face and cranium. We're going to work with all of the vertebrae of the spine. The different vertebrae of the spine relate to the different energy matrices, energy systems, organs. Each spine relates to different, each vertebrae relates to different organs. We get the kundalini going. Each bone in the cranium relates to all of the systems, all of the organs. All of the bones in the face relate to the 6 different systems. All of the organs, maps out holographically also through the whole rest of the body. It's called holographic breathing for a reason. And come tonight. If you don't come tonight, enjoy this video. I will probably put just the talking bit from the video out publicly, maybe. Obviously, if you want the guided meditations and the deep truth, you actually have to come to the webinars, or you can buy the recordings. A lot of people, Australia and because I'm in the UK, they love it and they just come anyway, but they watch the recordings, high quality recordings, because I record the sound separately and then put that on the video afterwards, so at least the sound is good. All right, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for listening.